everybody, y'all. This is Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms, and welcome back to another video. This afternoon, we're going to be starting a project that I've been meaning to do for a couple months. It's just time gets by me and didn't have time to do it. But we're going to tackle it today and hopefully finish it. But what that is we have this barbed wire fence that separates our neighbor's pasture where we run the goats in the afternoons and my parents' backyard. This is the only barbed wire fence in the pasture. This is about the only place the goats can get out, and they can just go underneath this barbed wire fence. So to fix the problem temporarily, I put up a temporary fence alongside of this barbed wire fence, and it's been working out well. The goats haven't gotten out since. But what I want to do, this is a 4-strand barbed wire fence, and you got a pretty good sized gap down there. Good sized gap here, good sized gap. But what I'm thinking about is running 1 strand of high tensile on here, and hopefully that'll keep the goats out of my parents' backyards and off of my mom's shrubbery. And also, this is gonna hopefully answer a lot of questions for me, whether this will work in other situations. We really want to expand, and if we go to expand, it's not gonna be about us purchasing land at the moment. Me and Maddie just can't financially afford to go out and buy a bunch of land to put livestock on. It just doesn't make any sense to us right now. So we are currently looking hard for leases around here. I asked my neighbors about leasing this. They didn't sound too interested. I'm hoping I can talk to them again and at least run some hot wire around the field so I can leave the goats out here at night. But that's just not the case right now, and I respect their decision. It's their land. I'm just grateful to be able to use it the little bit that we do. But going out to find land, honestly, we're going to target land that has fence on it already. It might not be the best fence. A lot of it might just be barbed wire fence, and that's okay. And hopefully running these 2 strands of hot wire, I'm sorry if you hear some noise in the background, my brother's working on a boat, but hopefully by running these 2 strands of hot wire, it'll tell us whether or not this will work for our herd, and we might just have to cull out a couple animals that get out. But hopefully it works, and you know, whenever we go to look for some land, we can lease some land that's got some fence on it that's not the best, and turn it into something that we can use to put goats on, or possibly cows. We'll see what we get into later on down the road. But I guess I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna get to busy. This shouldn't take too long, hopefully. I always think that, and it takes a whole lot longer than what I think. I'm gonna get this temporary fence rolled up real quick, and then we're gonna get started putting up this hot wire. Get out and mess with what I'm doing. So I figured we go through my buckets right here, and I'll kind of show you what tools we're going to be using today and why we'll be using that. I got a drill here with a small wood bit. That's for our insulator that's going to go on our post at the end down there where the goats are, beside our gate. Wire cutters, hammer, crimpers. I've got a donut insulator that's gonna go right here. I'm gonna explain everything here in a second. Fence tester, crimps, some staples, some water because it's hot out here today. I've got 1 strand of insulated wire that we can make our junction to our hot wire around our pasture to this new strand through the fence. Then I've got some long, like 6-inch insulators that's gonna go down there where our net wire is, starting about right here. I like to use the 6-inch, get it off the net wire some. And for these wood posts, I've got these insulators here that don't come with nails. That baffled me the other day when I bought those. I've never bought anything like these, but I am not using any kind of yellow insulators again. The black ones hold up to the sun a whole lot better. So that's what our wood post with the barbed wire is going to have on it. Then I've got some nails for that. But what we're going to start with is, I made these up yesterday. I've got 2 of them. One of them's right here. But we have a donut insulator On this, already crimped to this line that goes down to our tightener. That's the high tensile we're going to use today. Hopefully that's enough. This piece right here is going to just wrap around that post. We'll crimp it to it, and we'll go ahead and get these two set up, and then I'm going to start unrolling that one wire, that one roll of the wire. So what we're going to do is this bottom one is going to go on the bottom underneath this barbed wire, but it's going to go all the way down this net wire to our gate where the goats are walking through right there. And so we can tie back into our electricity. And also that wire down there is going to keep the goats from getting their heads stuck in this net wire. And then our second one is going to go right here, but it's going to stop. I'm going to walk up here real quick. Our second one is going to stop right here on this post. We do have this gap right here with no fence, and hopefully those two wires will be enough. If we have any problems, I might just get some temporary wire and just stretch a little strand across the top of that. 3 wires work pretty well for our goats. We'll see if that 2 wire works. I'm pretty sure it'll work on this barbed wire. I don't see the goats jumping up through the fence. They'd rather put their head down, go underneath it. So let's get this wire started on this post and start stretching her out. Start off with, we'll go ahead and put some staples in here that we're going to run our wire through, just kind of hold it in place. So then we're going to put a crimp on our wire, slide it out the way. We're going to go around our post, through our staple, back to our insulator. I like to bend my wire out just to keep it from slipping as much as possible. Whenever you get tension on it, get that little excess off. And we're gonna crimp our crimp. She's good to go. Go ahead and do our other one. So now that we got our insulators hooked to the end, I think what I'm gonna do, I was gonna get my brother out here to help me, but he looks pretty busy. So I'm not gonna bother him. I'm just gonna hook my fence into here, and I've got a spinning Jenny, but it's not in the best shape, and I think it'd be more frustration to whip it out than just to kind of walk with this roll of wire, and hopefully it doesn't go crazy on me. We'll wait and see. But I have no luck at all. Would you look at this? So I had a long piece of wire yesterday. Whenever I was making these up, I literally just split the difference in the wire, so my tensioners would all be in the same spot. So I wouldn't have. I was trying to use up some scrap wire, being efficient. Both of them's gonna come out right on top of this post. So I might have to. For sure, it's not going to be an insulator on this post, but I might have to put those 2 longer insulators on the post beside it to keep that tensioner off. I'm not going to cut this wire and waste a crimp on it. Probably should, but we're just going to go ahead and throw it up. We'll see how it works. Might have to figure out something else. Might have to cut it eventually. We'll just wait and see. Change of heart. I decided to go ahead and cut this wire. I don't want to have to deal with it if it doesn't work out. Go ahead and do it right one time. Right, now we'll get back to trying to get this wire ran. Had somebody give me a lot of high tensile several years ago. We didn't have a good way to roll it up. So we ended up with a bunch of short rolls like this. Just twisted the ends over. Kind of aggravating, but it was free wire. Can't complain. I guess I am complaining. Can't complain too much. Stick one end in and bend it. Hopefully that will hold while we walk this wire out. Sorry about the background noise. We're right beside the AC unit to my parents' house, but this is where we're going to put our other insulator. We're going to drive a staple in the post to run our wire through, just so it'll hold. Put our shrimp on. You want to see how my luck's going today? This is where my wire stops. This is where it needs to be. I don't know if this piece ain't long enough or not. I got another piece laying around. Grab it, crimp this wire back together real quick, and we'll get back to it. Also, to top off the day, just walked down to the shed to get another bottle of water. Smelled something funny, opened up our chest freezer. All our meat from last year butchering pigs is ruined. So we might be butchering pigs early December if it gets cold enough. Really made for a bad afternoon for me. So we got our patchwork done. I really hate putting crimps in the strand. It just makes it a little weaker. Part of it, I guess. I'm not going to unroll a brand new strand just to do this little short stretch. That one's good. Let's go do the last one. So we're at our last spot where we need to put an insulator. It's going to go in right here. I'm going to use a screw type. I know whenever this fence tightens, it's going to pull that wire close to this net wire. I really wish I had something a little bit longer than that, but we're going to make it work. Just got a drill bit on the drill. Just make a hole to start. And then we'll take our insulator, and it's got a lag bolt in on it. We'll screw it on in. Then we're going to take our wire. I'm going to put 2 crimps on there because remember we have to tie back into our other hot wire right there. So we'll just crimp it on there. Slide it through our insulator. Try to take as much tension out of this as we can. Leave a little bit of slack. Bend that around. Cut that. So ought to be interesting trying to get to that crimp. Go ahead and slip our feeder wire through here. Figure out where we want to put that in a minute. Well, both of our wires are ran. I've got it tied back into the other wire now. We go down to the end. I'm gonna tighten it up. I'm gonna throw on some insulators real quick. I'm not gonna film all that. Time's starting to get by me, so I'm gonna speed up real quick, throw on these insulators, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like when it's done. So the next afternoon, just got off of work, came home to work on our fence some more. Didn't quite finish it up yesterday afternoon, but I got our wire tight. Got all our insulators on. I really like these insulators. The first time I've ever really used these. Those things just pull in and pop out. You can pull your wire out. Pretty nice, other than they didn't come with nails. But this is kind of what our fence is going to look like. You got about 7-8 inches maybe underneath that bottom wire. Then bob wire, hot wire, bob wire, and bob wire. Got one or two other things that we need to do this fence. I've got this tree right here, this one, and there's an oak tree on down the line that's touching our hot wire. I'm out of these little insulators, and I thought I had some old garden hose that I could cut to put on there, but I'm out of those too apparently. So I've got some of these old insulators that I really don't like using, but we're going to use them up until I get some garden hose or something to put on that wire. Tend to. So the last thing we need to do is tie these two wires in together to make both strands hot, because right now this one will be getting the power supply. And also, I am not crazy about this. I feel like a goat can get through there for sure. Probably right now I'm just going to take one of those step ins, put it in the center, make a little bit of a visual. I'm probably going to go in and put a strand of bob wire from that strand right there all the way across, and then maybe one more on the top, just to kind of seal this off right here. I'm pretty sure a goat's going to go through that. For this, I'm just going to use a thin piece of wire, wrap it around both of them pretty good, get good contact. Sorry if you can't hear me. AC unit's right there. Put this here for right now. Ground's hard. Maybe that'll hold them in. So I guess now we just let the goats out. Turn on the fence here in a second. up. It is charged and ready to go. I put the meter on there a second ago, but I could barely see the light with my own eyes. I know it ain't gonna pick up with the camera. I need to get a better fence charger tester, but it's hooked up. Hopefully this will work out. The goats are right here beside it. I haven't seen anybody test it yet, but hopefully it'll work out, because this is probably going to be something that we're going to be using in the future. We're trying to obtain some lease land with not so good fences. Hopefully we can put this system in a livestock operation. It gets very pricey very quick whenever you have to put up a bunch of fence. So hopefully these goats will respect this hot wire. This will work, show us some things. If it doesn't work, we might can adjust it and test out some new little things on it to see what will work in this situation. And hopefully, like I said, one day we can find us a lease and hopefully expand our goat herd. But I really appreciate you hanging out with us in this video. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, and we'll see y'all on the next one.